Everyone, welcome to the show. We are going to be playing Metal Marines for the SNES. Metal Marines was originally a PC game that got ported over to the SNES. It's kind of one of those weird things. I'm not sure why this game was ported over, and I'm also not sure why, at least to my knowledge, it never got a sequel. But it's a really fun game. It takes a little bit of time getting used to sort of the controls and everything. And there's some parts to it that I don't really think translate very well. Uh, One thing I wanted to check out, but I just didn't, probably because the mouse that I have doesn't really work, is actually testing it out with the SNES mouse, because that's a much better way to play this than trying to use the actual controller and everything. I played the PC version first before even knowing that this game ever existed. And trust me, that's a much better experience than trying to kind of fumble around with the controls and getting them to sort of work the way that they're supposed to. So the story of Metal Marines is that there was an anti-terror war that devastated the world and paved way for a strong man to take over. And apparently it's the United States' fault. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I guess we just kind of ruin everything in sci-fi. Anyway, the space colonies try to retake the planet from whoever the heck ended up taking it to begin with. It's generally just not that important. All you need to really know is go kill the bad guys and everything will be okay. I feel like there should have been an anime tied into this if there wasn't already, because it shares like a lot of similarities with Robotech and Gundam. That's really one of the things that I like about this, because books are really cool. They have a lot of animation in them, and in all honesty, it just looks really awesome when you play this. Granted, it's still like a 16-bit sprite, but it's a really good looking 6-bit sprite. So the basics of the game are you have 3 headquarters you need to place on your map. And you can pretty much put them anywhere. The enemy won't know where they are to begin with. They have to try to like go out and scout for them and everything. And you'll have to do the same thing where you scout for their bases and whatnot. Now you have a bunch of ways to protect them. You can build gun pods and you can build metal marines, and then you can also build anti-air missiles. You're gonna need all 3 of these, and there's no real like easy way to balance it. It's kind of just sort of a guessing game. The more anti-air you build, the better chance you have of shooting down the enemy metal marines as they're coming in, and also the enemy missiles as they're going to be coming in as well. There are a few extra things to do. You need to build radar defenses so that those will actually help your aircraft missiles to shoot down the enemy missiles and to shoot down the enemy metal marines. You also have to build a factory to help you get more money, and you have to build an energy plant to get more energy as well. And that's kind of the hard part about the game, is you need to somehow balance the amount of money that you get and the amount of energy you have coming in. If you don't have enough energy, you can't attack. If you don't have enough money, then you can't build and upgrade your buildings or repair them after the enemy inevitably destroys them. That's one of those things you just kind of have to get used to, because the enemy is going to blow your shit up at some point. You don't really know when, but it's coming. Now, while you can attack with 4 ballistic missiles and 3 metal marines, it might not always be the best idea to do that, just given how much energy you have.
The missiles take a certain amount, and the metal marines take a much greater amount to get them over there. You can also upgrade your missiles and upgrade your metal marines. Once you upgrade the missiles, it allows you to fire 2 at a time. Once you upgrade your metal marine, it becomes golden as it's a little bit stronger than before. You can do the same thing with your anti-air missiles as well. You can upgrade those so they can fire off 2 at a time as well, and it makes it a little more effective. I don't think you can upgrade the gun pods though. That was one thing I actually have never tried in this game. And what you have to do, it's not the best idea to just send in your metal marines, because you need to sort of soften up the enemy's defenses. So the way I kind of like doing it is just bombard them with missiles, find out where the anti-aircraft and where the gun pods and the other metal marines are, just so I can send in my marines unopposed. Because one of the major things here is when you send in your metal marines, they'll get deployed, and then if there are any gun pods around, they'll have to attack those, and the enemy metal marines that happen to be in your area that you've deployed them will immediately attack you well. So you have to really kind of deal with that little balance and everything else. It's still a lot of fun to try to deal with, but really minimizing your losses on the metal marines is important, because you definitely need those in order to win. Now the goal of each mission is basically to just destroy the enemy headquarters, and that's going to vary depending on how far you get in the game. I've had the missions at the start where it's just 1, maybe 2 bases, up until later on in the game where it's 3 to 4. I get all the way to the end of this one, but it gets very, very challenging later on. Now my major problem with the game is just the controls. They're awkward to say the least. This was a PC port, so it's probably to be played with an actual mouse. And trying to do everything with the D-pad and using your buttons to go to the different menus in this, it can get super annoying when you're trying to do all of that. But it's not a huge problem at least on the main screen and everything like that. When you're trying to control the metal marines, I cannot describe how incredibly awkward controlling the metal marines in combat is. I really don't recommend doing it, because you have a time limit on that battle. You only have a minute to do what you need to do with the metal marines, and after that, the battle's over, your metal marines get evacuated, and if you didn't destroy everything, it's just going to remain there, leaving you with the only choice of having to go back and do the whole thing all over again. A little bit annoying, but it's not that bad. So this is just one of those games I absolutely love. Like I said here, just looking at the cutscenes and everything, there's a lot of inspiration from Gundam and Robotech. And to the best of my knowledge, the game didn't get a sequel, and it really should have.
So yeah, this is a really interesting game, and I still don't really know why it didn't get sequels, because it really sort of deserved them. It's, at least from playing it and really looking back on it now, it's got a lot of Gundam and Robotech in it, where you have the giant mech robots, which is just very, very, very Japanese, and you have this sort of not really galactic war, but at least some kind of a space war going on, where you have the colonies coming back to try to save the planet after you have, I still don't even know where the evil empire came from, but they take over the planet, and you're just trying to fight them off and everything like that. One thing I don't understand is, why didn't they just leave? I mean, they destroyed most of the basically livable land on Earth. Why didn't the colonies just leave and just let Earth stay by itself. I mean, if you look at the map, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why they wanted to stay there, but whatever, anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will be back in a couple of weeks. The next one we're going to do is Dragon Warrior 2, which is better known as Dragon Quest 2, but I don't have a Dragon Quest cartridge, so I just stare at Dragon Warrior and I think of that the whole time. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time, and talk to y'all later.